how you doing? Let's get to work. Hey folks, how you doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. Once again, this is Pat Butler, your tall grass home inspector. Look, we're back with part 2 of episode 5. So we're going to back it up a little bit, let you get caught up, and then we're going to get into some more good training. So here we go. We've talked about this before, and if you are in that office and you're giving a presentation, I want you to play this video for them so that they can truly understand what's going on. And you can just, if you have hard time speaking in front of folks, I understand it. Thank Preston Sandlin for this one because he posted this. I have no reservations of stealing it because I'm giving it back to y'all, which he was doing as well. So Preston, I want to say thank you for this video, but this is a monster if you're talking about showing agents why they need to work with a pre-listing inspection program. Y'all watch this.
Selling your home to an online company. It's a practice growing in popularity across the Charlotte region.
It was very simple. I didn't have to worry about how long it's on the market.
By now, you've probably heard the names Open Door, OfferPad, Knock. These companies are new to Charlotte, offering to help you sell your home or buy it outright.
But we wanted to know if there's a catch to this. Eyewitness News anchor John Paul looked into the companies and asked how this new trend is changing our housing market.
After 14 years of owning this rental home in Huntersville, Bonnie Shimshak decided it was time to sell. She got offers from companies like We Buy Ugly Houses and Cash for Homes.
They were really lowballed. You know, they wanted like $129 for our house.
So she decided to check with a company that's new to our area, OfferPad.
It's the new way homes are sold.
She'd seen these ads on TV and tried it out. Their offer, $192,000, almost $70,000 higher, and with no open houses and a fast closing.
It was very, very unexpected.
Unexpected?
Yes.
Why?
Because of the closing date that we chose.
From the time you guys contacted them to the time you had a check in your hands?
Yes.
15 days.
15 days.
After the sale, once Shimshak's family was out, the home saw a flurry of activity. Contractors painted. Plus, they put in new floors, countertops, appliances. Now it's back on the market again for $209,900.
They had done the upgrades that we thought we were going to have to do before we sold the house.
We dug through records and found that so far in Mecklenburg County, OfferPad's purchased more than 60 homes. Signs are popping up everywhere. This house on Wood Knoll Drive, purchased for $170,000, sold 2 months later for $208,000. This home on 4-Acre Court, purchased by OfferPad for $298,000, now on the market for $332,900. A couple doors down, the company scooped up this home for $284,000. After some upgrades, there's a pending sale for $319,900. A Channel 9 review of records shows on average, OfferPad charges 14% more than what they paid for a home. With these companies essentially flipping homes in Charlotte, we wanted to know, what is this going to do to the local market, especially when you consider Charlotte's in an affordable housing crisis? Is this something you guys have been watching at all?
Well, we certainly noticed it.
Dr. Richard Buttermer is the director of the Childress Klein Center for Real Estate at UNC Charlotte and says he's been curious about these new companies.
If you think of the traditional model of flipping you see on HGTV and some of these other places, I suspect what these folks are doing is they're bringing a little more larger scale to that.
We checked out about a dozen homes bought and sold by OfferPad. Nearly all appeared to have had renovations done. Will the prices across Charlotte be going up?
I don't think at the current levels of activity they're doing, which is around 100 homes, they're not really going to affect the overall market that much.
But Buttermer says as these companies gain a foothold and more houses are flipped for a profit, that could change. However, we found not every house is turning a profit. This one, for example, purchased by Open Door in South Charlotte for $401,000. On the market today for $387,000. The companies do take a commission, though, like a realtor, but they call it a fee. In Shimshak's case, Open Door charged $11,000, but with no open houses or repairs to deal with, She believes it was well worth it. John Paul, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Charlotte.
So basically, this is something that will definitely get agents' attention, all right? Because like these companies like Open Door and OfferPad are brand new, and they are just now starting to pierce in markets that they know that they're going to maximize their potential income. So they're on the streets right now. And also, we've also talked the fact is that Zillow is also selling houses as well. So agents that are on the ground and they know what's happening, they see this happening, and they need to be more competitive, because folks are just like, you know what, I'm going to call this company, and if the price is right, I'll do it. And the bad thing about it is that, and I'll go on a quick little caveat, is that sellers are the ones who really paying, because the average cost of commission from a real estate agent is somewhere around 3 to 5% of the home sale. All right. What these companies are offering to sell their homes is even much more, around 7 to 10% of the home's value. Then they'll turn around, hire contractors, pay contractors, and then put a house back up for market for higher than what it is, what they offered for it, not just for the cost of the home, a couple extra dollars, and pay for the expense. They're charging significantly more, as you can see, and they're getting paid on both ends with no real estate agent in the picture. All right. I wish I could, but for this recording, I turned off my internet. But I was going to post another video where the guy from OfferPad told him that he wants to put real estate agents out of business. I talked about it yesterday. As soon as I get that video, I will post it so that you can see what agents are looking at. And that's why, once again, I said now is the opportune time to get in there and start to market your pre-listing inspection programs. Because if you can give an agent a competitive advantage on the ground, that makes it more apt for them to get that house sold as compared to one of these companies, that client, that's the seller, is going to win. The agent is going to win. You are going to win. It is a win-win-win situation. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why people have these issues with working with sellers. The market is changing. Let's just embrace that and let's start to move forward. Also, I want to say this. This particular editorial from this newscast, you could tell that it was heavily sponsored by the premier company. I won't say who it is. You can go back and watch it, because they even gave a little knock on their no pun intended, on their competition. But if you go onto that website and get the raw footage, it is a whole lot different than what they are saying in this feature. So these companies are sponsoring these local companies to give them a nice little puff editorial to market their services. All right. So that's why agents are really going to be at a disadvantage, because how are they going to compete when they only going to have a 30 to 60 commercial slot on TV or radio, when these guys are buying into news companies and supporting the local stations so that they can get these little advertising pieces on their news, on their evening news. That is gold. And if you can give them something that's going to help them compete on that, you got something right there. And I think that agents are going to be willing to listen to you. But you got to go in there and show them that, hey, you have a viable alternative than the old model. And like I say, now's the time for you to start putting these programs together. All right. So this is a way that you can start combating those agent fears. All right. there is no reason to fear the disclosure if you can manage it and give them solutions to the problem. That they're going to make more money because that house has no defects, so they can sell it at top market value, and also they can actually gain more of business by dealing with the lead generation tools that most of these home inspection platforms do offer. All right, and you can develop your own. We'll go more into that in other lessons, but I just wanted to let you know that these are the ways that you can talk to these real estate agents and get them on board to use pre-listing inspection programs, and for you to be a preferred inspection service so that they can actually get these homes sold, and you and everybody else can increase revenue by getting these homes sold faster in your market space. So that is the agent's portion. So let's look at something a little bit more closer to home, all right? And that's addressing the competition. Now, I'm going to let this picture just sit here and marinate, because I think that out of all the slides in this presentation, this is the one that I think is the most accurate. I think that we've really been juvenile. And I'll use that word lightly because I know some 5-year-olds that's been more mature than some of the home inspection entities that's been on social media berating each other about pre-listing inspections and their programs and platforms. So I think that we will take an opportunity just to kind of look at self-reflection of how we're conducting ourselves, and stop wondering why agents, contractors, insurance, and each other look at our profession in the light that it does, because collectively we're not helping. All right. If everybody else is telling us that it's our fault and that they have problems with us, and we are showing them exactly the reasons why, don't be upset that people have a very low image of the home inspection profession as a whole. I think that that one hit right on top. But one thing that we really need to know is that we do work better together. Somebody once said that a rising tide raises all ships. And I think that we should work on a collective approach, especially dealing with this. All right. So now I'm going to take my my trainer, teacher hat off, and I'm going to make a personal plea to us as an inspection agency. All right, I'm going to leave that right here, and I'm just going to kind of do this. All right, so us as inspectors and businesses and inspection services, we've all been shooting ourselves in the foot. All right, I just want to take a minute just to say that, because I think it just needs to be said. I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody else, because I've had my moments too. But with acknowledging what I can do better, I need to talk to us internally. We really need to get on the ball and stop bashing each other and fighting each other the way that we do. All right. We are in a very unique situation in a very unique profession. All right. There's not a lot of us. There's less than 1/5 inspectors in North America than there are real estate agents. We are dwarfed by all these other entities in the home sales and maintenance trade. Okay. There's more employees at Home Depot than there are inspectors in North America. I need y'all to really understand where I'm coming from when I say this. If we keep dogging each other out, we are not going to increase or improve our profession as a whole. we are going to keep damaging ourselves and keep lowering the value of inspection services as a whole if we continue to operate on this course that we are right now. And not, like I said, this is not for individual people. This is for inspectors to inspectors, inspector business to inspector businesses, platforms to platforms, services to services, software to software. I mean, guys, we are treating ourselves like, like Wild Wild West. We are doing the same thing that the inspectors are doing, trying to bash each other in front of everybody else to show how great we are. It doesn't work, all right? It has never worked in a business model, all right? You may get some short-term gains, but long-term, you're always going to be looking over your back, and everybody knows that you're not the person or entity to be trusted, because as soon as that situation happens again, what you did over there, you're going to do over here. And what you did to them, you're going to do to me. So it just compounds itself. I'm asking as an industry for us to stop it, all right? So that we can all get back and improving the profession, making money, serving our clients, and supporting and helping each other, okay? I just really want to take a minute just to say that, because this is coming from love. I mean, love from all of us as individuals, because I've been honored to meet and work with just about every major entity in this profession just in the last 16 months alone. And the knowledge that all of you have collectively can't be replaced. And I thank you for taking the time to even just to shake my hand and have that conversation with me. With that being said, I think that we've all been a little bit short of the bar as far as professionalism. And the minute that we can turn that corner and minimize that, I truly, in my own professional opinion, think that fees, services, and capabilities are going to grow as we start to work together, or at least in a less contentious work climate and business climate that we are creating ourselves. This is the one time that I think that man-made global warming is really is really more applicable, because the thermostat level that is turned on inspectors right now is more self-inflicted than outside entities. And I think that we can really improve if we just tone it down and start to work in a more professional, in a more synergistic fashion. All right, so that's me on my soapbox. Let's get back to learning, okay? Yep, there we go. And here we go. All right, so I think that we can all work together. If we work together, we're going to really benefit as a large. And we really need to calm down on a lot of noise that we're saying. And here's an analogy that I hope that helps solidify what it is that we're talking about. All right, we love to see our competition crash and burn. I mean, there's nothing that, for a lot of us is more enjoyable than watching somebody that we're in direct competition for just fall flat on their face, all right? And if there's anything that we can do to facilitate that, all is fair, and there's a very sweet satisfaction in watching that. But what happens as a macrocosm into the industry? Let's look at planes, right? If a plane has a severe mechanical failure, all right, catastrophic, and it crashes and it burns, all right, yeah, it really looks bad on that particular carrier, whether it's United, TW, Air Canada, Lufthansa, Air Arabia, you know what I'm saying? Don't matter who the airline is, it just really looks bad for them. But what happens collectively is that every model of that plane is grounded, all right, until they figure out what's going on. And that's what I'm trying to say is that pre-listing home inspections is a new animal, all right, or at least an animal that's really starting to get some notice. And if we let each other fail catastrophically, I'm not talking about as a business, you know what I'm saying? If they're not paying their bills or whatever and they fold up and they go away, that's one thing. But if they do something that's really going to betray client and partner vendor trust, and it's going to look bad on all of us. They're going to say, well, because you know that nowhere follows gossip faster than in the real estate industry, that these products are broken. It doesn't matter who is the carrier of the product. It's just that the whole system is broken. See, we should have never done this. The old model was fine. We tried this out. We're just going to go on with, with the way things were. And that's why I'm afraid that was going to happen. Folks who know me knows that I tried to help, or that I am trying to help every entity in this pre-listed inspection field, because I believe that is a true revenue generator for all of us. All right. There's a lot new businesses and business models and business products just to support pre-listed inspection in this year alone, that if we turn around and we shoot ourselves in the foot and let somebody or let some of us just have catastrophic failures, it's going to affect all of us, because that word is going to get out, and then nobody's going to want to take the time and invest in a pre-listing inspection program. So take the time and work with each other, at least professional. And I think that this is a good way to look at it, all right? Because there's a lot of different doctors out there and a lot of different professions. So there's going to be just as many opinions as there is inspectors. But if we look at it as a second opinion, that, hey, another doctor is going to look at the same patient with the same symptoms and maybe come out with a different diagnosis, that just makes that client or that particular patient in a better situation where they can receive the maximum or the greatest benefit of care that they can get if they just get a second opinion. If both of them say the same thing, great. If they say something a little bit different, hey, then it just takes a minute to dig a little bit deeper and see why these two are saying something completely different. If we look at it as another trained professional is looking at the same situation, we should be able to professionally assess the situation and move forward to it, and it doesn't have to be so contentious. I think that if we just sit down there and work and just stay within the standards of practices and look at the major stuff, look at the roof, the heating, the air conditioning, if there's moisture intrusion, the electrical, the big stuff. If we look at the big stuff and that big stuff is taken care of course there's going to be a crack here or a settlement there, or, saying there's going to be a wobbly staircases. But these are all things that can be very fixed easily, okay? If we stick to those, I'm not saying that you got to kiss anybody's butt or that you got to cover for them. But if we just stick to that and treat ourselves as professionals, hey, this is a professional. They saw this. They didn't see that, because sometimes we don't know the situation. The first inspector might have looked at the house and the house was completely furnished and the family was packing and it was mere chaos. And the second inspector may have looked at the house and it was completely empty. Or that particular air conditioner or furnace might have been just on its last legs when it's in marginal condition, but it's going to, but it's functioning at the time of the inspection. And all of a sudden, that last round of 100-degree heat just pushed that air conditioning system over the edge, and now it's broken. And now you have a different opinion. All these things are applicable and possible. Let's just stick with the rule books. Let's stick with just doing it by the standards of practices. And if there's any type of discrepancy, let's just have the professionalism just to give each other a courtesy call. Hey, guy, I was just at this house. I know that you did a pre-inspection. This is what I found. I don't know what happened with you, but this is what I did. This is what I saw. So you might want to call your client and kind of see if you can come back out here and take a look. It might be something, I don't know. You don't know how many differences could be solved just by that. And the added benefit is it just makes you look more like a professional instead of saying, well, he don't know or she don't know what she's talking about, and throwing them underneath the bus. Because you're making them look bad, but you're also making yourself look bad because you're approaching it from a negative fashion. That stuff does pick up. But if you say, hey, I don't know what they were looking at. What I'm seeing is this. Let's give them a call and see what's going on. And then that way they can at least be able to adjust fire. If they're wrong, then they're wrong. If you're wrong, then you're wrong. These things happen. I don't know anybody nowadays that's walking on water, so let's, find a way that we can work as professionals, and even in a contentious situation like that, there's ways to manage it. And if we can manage that, then the problems with pre-listing inspections are going to be minimal. All right. So that's just one approach of it. And I think that if we use that approach, we'll be in a better place as an industry and as individual inspection companies. All right. So let's move on to developing your brand and identifying the USPs, okay? Not just in your business, but as your pre-listing inspection, okay? Like I said, a lot of these tools you will look at on a larger scale as far as your inspection company, but but it's very ideal for you to drum down and look at your inspection program or your inspection package with the same scope and the same scrutiny. So I think that identifying what's going to make your program better or different from another is an easy way for you to identify with a target market and start to generate some more revenue and make this a more valuable tool for your community and the agents that give you a call along with their clients. All right. So now there's a lot of different products out there. There's a lot of them that I use. I'll let you know that. I have no reservations telling you that, I use Inanachi products, and also I use RWF products. You notice that I sleep very well at night. That's just me. But the point that I want to let you know is that there's many things that you can do to make your pre-listing inspection package unique and special, and makes it more advantageous to investigate, if not purchase and hire you for. So what is it that you're going to do for your business that's going to help you stand apart? Do you need to do any of these things? Nope. You can do a whole lot more. There's inspection software that looks head and toes above all else. I'll be the first one to admit it. Spectora is a fantastic looking product. I don't think that I think I'll be in a room all by myself that says, yeah, Spectora looks like crap. Now, Spectora looks awesome. It's a very great service program. With that being said, there's a lot of other great inspection software out there. We can look at HomeGauge. You can look at Home Inspector Pro, like it says, and then Homeworthy, Inspected. There's so many out there that it goes without saying, and each one can be a USP, and how you use and facilitate your inspection software can be just as much as a differentiator than it is from any warranty package or additional package that you may offer with your inspection. But what you really want to do is be able to coin that and sell that as your pre-listing inspection system. Okay, if you're using these things 9 times out of 10, you can reappropriate these for your sellers as you do for your buyers. All right. Go in there, call the company, ask them, do they have anything specifically for pre-listed inspections? And I can tell you that just about all of them has something that they're using for pre-listing inspections. If you're using those services, you're already paying for them, then hey, why not introduce those to into your inspection program? There's a lot of you that have sewer scopes and do chimney inspections, and and a whole lot of others. If you add those things in there with your pre-list inspection packages, you can definitely make sure that your particular product is unique and beneficial to your market area and your potential clients. All right. There's just so much stuff out there, so much resource out there. I just want you to know that you can take advantage of so many of them that you can make something your own and not just look like a carbon copy of everybody else down the road. Because if eventually there's going to be more people that's going to be doing inspections like this, so you just want to be able to stake your stake in the ground and claim yours, and why yours is why the client should choose you as compared to your competition. All right. One of the things I used to do, I use a ton of the free InterNACHI products. All right. It is a no-brainer because it is very little cost, and you can turn around and just have that on your site, or just offer these types of things on your services, and you can help the agent share these things with your name and information and contact information for your clients, so that they can already be introduced to you in your brand. All right, and this also goes out for your home inspections services that you offer your services to your inspectors. Hey, good morning. How you doing today? If you turn around and you have products that cater to pre-listing inspections that inspectors and agents can use to help attract them, I think you might be looking at also increased revenue sales, because you are feeding basically the machine that is going to be generating more revenue across the board. So, like I said before, a rising tide raises all ships. So if you're not, then you might want to. All right. If you are, kudos to you. And you're going to be ones that are really going to be facilitated and utilized by inspectors, because they can now take that stuff and take it to real estate agents or sell it to clients and say, hey, this is how we can get this house sold much faster, much easier, with less headache. So, something to think about. So, let's take a minute to look at the USPs, all right? You can do this with a paper. And like I said before, I'm going to take, I already have a second PowerPoint with some of these little worksheets. And you can have those, but you can definitely do all this with a piece of paper. Start listing down the things that are unique to you, or things that you could offer as far as a pre-listing inspection package, all right? And start to model that and put something together that you think that's going to match your target demographic, that's going to be using your services, these potential sellers and the agents for these potential sellers. They will definitely benefit for you if you put together an outstanding a package. All right. So now let's look at the final thing, and that is the cost. All right. If you really want to make sure that your inspection services, anything you do, especially pre-listing, you're going to have to make sure that it is properly priced so that it is a general resource. I'll never forget what my brother Sean McNeil said. I love you, brother, with the bottom of my heart. It's all tools. They're all to meet a certain end, and we're in business to make money. We're in business to serve people, but we stay in business so that we can make money. If we are not making money, we're not going to be in business. So you need to make sure that what your services that you're offering has a correct price structure. So let's just take a quick minute to look at how to calculate your prices for pre-listed inspection, because it is my personal opinion that I don't think that they should be the same price. And the reason I say is this, because the services and the time and the effort to create this package and the services that go along with it don't necessarily reflect the same cost that it does to do an inspection for a buyer. This is my personal opinion. You can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I get it. I don't mind. I'm not going to be upset that you think that I am wrong on this, okay? But if you're offering additional flyers, or you're using a pre-listed inspection platform, or you're buying yard signs, that stuff costs money, and that money needs to be reflected in your prices, or otherwise you are eating in on your profits, which means that you're at a negative gain for all the services. So you're working harder for less money, and eventually it's not going to cover the bills. This is just the nature of the beast. This is business 101. So your prices need to reflect the cost of inspection plus your profits. And let's just take a look at what I am talking about. All right. So you have, it's really that easy, okay? You have your break-even quota, or your BEQ, and it needs to be reflected across the fixed costs, your software, your insurance, truck, tools, and also your variables, okay? Like it says, gas for travel, yard signs, services, all, marketing for the product, any additional marketing packages that you do, all those things, and the potential for upsells. All that needs to be factored in so that you know how much it costs for you, how much it is costing you to offer that service. All right, and you need to know that number. All right, you need to be intimate with that number, because you do not want to go underneath that number. And I know this looks like regular old regular math. My brain just went lost for a second. Algebra, all right? And I know it just looks like algebra, but at the end, this is very easy, all right? You got how much it costs you to do a regular, you got your cost per unit, and then you got your variable cost, and then that's going to be your break even. And that's where you want to start with your cost, how much it's going to cost, all right? And then you can upsell from there. So let's take another look, or take another pause, and let's look at where you should start your pricing for pre-listed inspections, okay? Remember Ben Gromyko in his call, in his business course, and he talked about starting off with your profit. How much do you want to make, all right? And that's a cost per inspection, all right? You need to start with those. Your insurance, which is a fixed cost, your software, warranties if you're offering them, your marketing, the labor, how much time, and that goes into your profit. Or if you have other inspectors or other people that's helping you, the labor costs and that, tools and travel, miscellaneous. Take the time to figure all this out and come up with your total cost, all right? And then you will know where you'll be able to start from, okay? And then, like I said before, also, once you got that, what are your USPs that you can add on to there as far as upselling? Like it says, if you're doing sewer scope, if you are doing chimney inspections, if you're doing whatever services that are added, that you can add in on that, you can definitely upsell the cost of your inspections to make maximum amount of revenue for your services, okay? The potential is there. You're already there, instead of being an option, just slightly being an option for potential buyers, you can offer that for sellers, and just have that already factored in. And, and the best thing about that they can also adjust your cost for inspection into their pricing for their house. You are adding value to that home. Believe it or not, if you're not looking at that way, I encourage that you do, because you are helping them maintain that house and putting the best foot forward so that they can get that house sold for more money and a lot faster. So take the time, figure it out how much it's going to cost you to do that so that you can charge your fees appropriately to what it is that you do. So, in conclusion, all right, we talked about a lot. All right, so the things that we covered, like it says, is it worth starting a pre-listing inspection program? You should know that by now, or at least now have the tools to figure that out. Also, you should be able to figure out, it says, who and how you're going to target potential clients, all right? Who are going to be the people that are going to hire you to do these services, all right? So that you can reach out and touch and market to advertise to them specifically, all right? Also, where do you stand on entering the pre-listing inspection market? Is there anybody else who are offering that market? Is it something brand new that you have to educate folks on? Are there, are there people that's going to follow right behind you and mimic exactly what you do because you are a market leader? These are all the things that you need to think about moving forward, okay? Also, managing potential threats from agents and competitors, all right? They have legitimate fears. You need to find a system to manage their fears so that you can thrive in that market space. If not, then they're going to be a continuous thorn in your side, if not going to drive down your inspection sales, all right? And also, we also covered, you should know how to market your product, what type of bells and whistles you need to put on it, how it needs to smell. If you're dealing with a whole bunch of blue-collar workers, then you're talking about one thing. If you're talking about retirees, you're talking about another. Remember, you look at all these commercials that talk about osteoporosis and arthritis for senior folks. The reason that they have kids in those videos is because that's when grandparents feel the pain the most, when they're running around with the kids. So how are you going to market your pre-listing inspection product? This is something that you now have the tools to do. And also, lastly, how to figure out the costs and the fees and how to upsell your business. So this is the base model of how to figure out a pre-listing inspection program, all right? Hey, folks, I hope that this is helpful to you. I'm going to, like I said, this is going to be more in a series just on pre-listing inspections alone. And my intent is by the time that we're finished with this series, you will have everything that you need to open, operate, and run a successful pre-listing home inspection program. All right. We're going to be talking about a lot more things. A lot of the things that we talked about yesterday and today, we're going to go in more detail. And just have fun with it. Also, I'd like to get your feedback on this, all right? If you see it differently than I do, that's fine, that's great. But what we need to do is start a dialogue so that we all can benefit from it, so we can at least have a base model. No matter where you are in your business model that you're standing in right now, if you are a fledgling business and you're just a brand new inspector or a inspecting company and you're starting with that, or you're a multi-inspector firm with 10, 15 inspectors, no matter where you're at in your price point, you should be able to construct a line item or a service that you can offer in your local area that offers pre-listing inspection program. It's not a magic bullet that's going to cure everything, but it is a definite bullet that can help you increase your revenue. All right. Once again, this is Pat Butler. I hope that you have a beautiful day. Hey, remember, seek Christ in every one of his distressing disguises and make every day Christmas. Y'all take care. God bless.